What's up, my fellow comic book readers? Happy new comic book day. Happy Dungeon Crawler Carl comic book day. Jesus, dude, that's so exciting. I literally just read the book. I'm on book 2. And then they come out with a comic like it was meant to be. Shout out to Memory Lane Comics, dude. Princess Street, Wilmington, North Carolina. They always got everything that I need. And they don't pay me to say that. Every once in a while, they give me like a free dollar sticker or something, you know. But guys, I'm at a conundrum right now. A conundrum? I don't know if that's the right word. Maybe it's the wrong word. I really want to start reading older stories. And by doing that, I don't want to pick up singles of the older stories, because with picking up older stories, you run into the issue of, like, you run into a issue 11 that's worth $300. And then where do you find that if you're just casually reading it, right? So I want to start doing omnis. Problem with omnis is they're like, you know, you can find some of them for like $25 if you get really lucky, right? But like if you're looking for them, you're generally going to pay about $100 for an omnibus, right? So with that being said, I'm spending, this isn't a brag, so please don't take it that way. I'm spending like $100 a week on new comic book day comics right now. And I'm trying to find a way to do an even balance of new comic book days and maybe like an omnibus every other week, every third week. You know what I mean? How do you guys do that? How do you balance new comic book day comics with omnis? Are you a one or the other? Is there a way to do both and actually read them? Or just if you want to do that, do you just have to spend a shitload of money every time you want an omnibus? Like, I don't know. Maybe someone has a good answer that I haven't thought about yet. But guys, we got comic shop news. We got 2022 is the issue. I haven't looked through this one yet, so I'm going to look into it as soon as we get off. But I'm flipping through it. There's a lot of Supergirl stuff on here, just looking at the back. And then in no particular order, we're going to start off Dungeon Crawler Carl. It is shaped like a manga. And it was a webtoon, so it's just the webtoons printed out. But I loved the first book. Again, I'm on the second book. So I have such high expectations of this, high hopes for this, and I am so excited to read this. All right, finally, we're almost 3 minutes into the video. Into comics. We got Punisher number 4. I love the Punisher right now. I don't understand why they restarted after the Red Band. They did the 5 issues of Red Band and then started a new issue of Punisher. It's the same stuff, pretty much the same graphics. Red Band really, because Marvel doesn't have curse words and stuff in their comics. And the gore is, even with Red Band, the gore is limited. So it's really not much of a difference. So I don't understand. Anyways, Punisher's good right now. Lobo, issue number 3. I think Lobo is my favorite out of the new comic books. The Next Level from DC. I think Lobo is my favorite. So I'm very excited to get into that. We got Absolute Flash, issue number 15. Absolute Flash has been moving up my radar. It is up to my number 4 now. It was 6 when it first started because I didn't understand it, and that has nothing to do with the story itself, but it was my number 6. Then it moved up to number 5, and Green Lantern moved down to number 6, and now it's up to my number 4, and Martian Manhunter is down to my number 5. And I know a lot of people are going to hate on that, but Absolute Flash has been getting better and better. You know what hasn't been getting better? The art, because the art has been absolutely peak since the very beginning. That was one thing I said. This one doesn't look like it has a bunch of big flashy, I don't know. They're still, look at that. Look at the art in that. It's so beautiful, man. All right, I'm getting long-winded on these, and I can't do that because I have so many freaking comics. Fantastic Four, issue number 11. I do think I'm like an issue or 2 behind on this, but this has been a fun read-through. It's my first time reading Fantastic Four. We got Alias, number 3. This has been fantastic. So good that I went out and bought the whole first Alias run. I think there's 4 trades. I'm pretty sure there's only 4. I hope there's only 4 because I got 4 trades. But I got them. I still haven't read them yet, but it made me want to go back and read it because this story started off with such fire. I loved it. We got Everyone Loves a Jewel Thief, issue number 2. I think this is the first time that Ignition Press hasn't come out with a number 1 in a couple of weeks. But we did get a couple of Ignition Press comics. But this one's number 2, Everyone Loves a Jewel Thief. That was pretty cool. There's a dungeon master from Dungeons & Dragons, and he's trying to create a story so that even though he knows he's going to go down, he's planning on being the patsy for the jewel thief, but he wants to have experience in a jewel heist so that he can write a book. Crazy concept, right? Neighborhood Watch, I've been waiting for this issue because the first one ended with chaos. Someone died and they had no clue who killed them, but I'm not even sure if it was like how realistic it was, because it seemed like two different people came from two different worlds to find the one person behind a hidden door dead. I know that's kind of all over the place, but I've been waiting for that issue. We got Murder Podcast, issue number 7. I think this is the finale. Nope, it is not the finale. It says to be continued. This has been crazy. This originally started out with just a podcast that's, you listen to it and it makes people, off each other just randomly, like not go and look for somebody, just the first person. If there's a person in the room, they off them and then they snap back to reality and don't realize what happened. They just got blood all over their hands, right? But we're coming to find out that maybe there's a murder cult behind it, like an alien murder cult behind it, maybe, possibly. But I'm excited to jump into this one. We got Shredder number 8. Everything Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is going on right now. Shredder, Casey Jones, and then obviously the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle run. For some reason, I had in my mind today that the 300th issue was coming out for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but that's July 22nd from what I found online. So I was kind of disappointed in myself for convincing myself that I was supposed to get 300 today. But I am excited that we got Shredder number 8. This has been such a great story. Shredder came back from the dead pretty much and is reclaiming his empire. That story's been fantastic. Superman Unlimited 13. This got pointed out to me. I can't remember who pointed it out to me. You can say it was me and take credit for it in the comments. I apologize. But someone pointed out the main character in Superman Unlimited switched from Superman to Superboy to the Man of Tomorrow. The main character has been switching, but the momentum of this book is still going in the right direction. I am freaking loving this. And that is unique art on that cover. But I'm thoroughly enjoying this story. And I know a lot of people aren't liking it, but it's my first Superman comic that I've read, so I don't have anything to compare it to, and I'm really enjoying it. We got Battle Beast number 9. I didn't even know this was coming out today. I don't know how I slept on that, but I am like 2 or 3 issues behind, so that probably played a role in it. But every single issue that I've read so far of this has been fantastic, and I love how unapologetically himself Battle Beast is. He doesn't change who he is to even deceive people. Not just to like make them like him or whatever, but even to deceive them. He doesn't change who he is. He's very forward about who he is, and there's a lesson to be learned in that, people. Next up, we got Thundar the Barbarian by Jason Aaron the Goat. I originally had no interest in picking this up, and then I saw that Jason Aaron was writing it, so I snagged it. And this has been probably my biggest surprise of the year so far. I'm really loving this. It's about a barbarian from the future where the human race has kind of been dwindled down because, a comet collided with Earth and destroyed the atmosphere. So humans are kind of like almost extinct. But he isn't a human. He's a human that follows a wizard back in time to like modern time to try to prevent the world from ending. So very crazy concept, and I'm really loving it. Maybe just because I'm a giant fanboy of Jason Aaron. But honestly, I think most people would pick that up and enjoy it. All right. Next up. Was that in my hand? It felt sticky, but I think it was something on my hand. Anyways, we got The Darkness, issue number 5, right? 5. This is another one that I had no intention of picking it up, and then Port City Pools told me to snag this, and he told me that I would really like it because he did. And I'm really liking this. This is about a guy who is stuck in between the battle between light and dark, and you kind of find out that light isn't all it's cracked up to be, and dark isn't as bad as you thought it was, and that both of them are just kind of trying to win their own war. They don't really care about anybody getting hurt. Next up, we got Racer X, issue number 7. I think I said last week that I'm actually starting to like the Racer X comic more than I am the Speed Racer comic, and not because Speed Racer is bad, but because Racer X has more history. It's kind of being told like stuff that's already happened, whereas Speed Racer is kind of being told on stuff that is happening now, if that makes sense. So if you're a Speed Racer fan, I think you might appreciate Racer X a little bit more. If you're new to the Speed Racer franchise, you might like Speed Racer more. That doesn't make any sense. I know. It doesn't make any sense. But me personally, I think Racer X is a little bit ahead of Speed Racer right now. That could change. It has changed for me. Speed Racer originally was better, and it's just changed. And not because one got worse or one got better, just the storyline that's going. Next up, we got Dead Teenagers, issues number 3. Oh, I do remember. I was like, did I read number 1? I don't think I've read number 2. But number 1, there's kind of like a death loop going on. Maybe I have read number 2. There's a death loop going on, and these teenagers are in the death loop, and then one person breaks the loop, and then it kind of fast forwards their life to where they're adults, but they're still like, they have no adult experience. They're still their teenage minds, but they're now their future selves, and they just found out that they're still in the death loop. Just now they're in an adult death loop. So, but they're still like their teenage minds. This has been a crazy comic so far in such a short period of time, and I'm really loving it. Batwoman issue number 3. I really need to go back and reread issue number 1 and 2. Because I didn't know what the hell was going on in 1 and 2. It's my first Batwoman comic that I started. I went back and read Batwoman Effigy, the DC Compact. And first off, that was fantastic. If you haven't checked out Batwoman Effigy, pick it up. I'm telling you, you're going to love it. But it kind of opened my eyes to what's going on in here between Cassandra Cain and her sister that I didn't know she had. But it was kind of hinted at in here. It was said directly, but I was like, is that her sister? Or why is she calling her sister? So I really want to go back and read 1 and 2 so I can better understand this. But this has been a pretty solid story. I will say the art is very on par with Effigy. Like, if you read Effigy, the art in this did not change from that run. And the story is just picking up where it left off. So it's pretty solid. Narco, issue number 3. I have not read 2 yet. Don't shoot me. Don't hate me. I don't know if I can... Yeah, anyways. The first issue, the dude has narcolepsy and he falls asleep. And when he wakes up at the end of 1, he may or may not have experienced, witnessed, participated in a crime. And I'm guessing issue 2 and 3 and moving forward is him going to be either continuing doing that stuff or finding out what happened in issue number 1. But I thought it was a pretty interesting story. And then this team right here, Wagner and Hilliard, they also wrote Fashion School Serial Killer. So if you like that, check out Narco. They've teamed up for a couple different series, and the ones that I have read, Plastic, I haven't read Plastic yet, but I'm trying to think. They got Plush, Plastic, Vinyl. They've written a couple series together, and they're all really solid from what I've heard. In my short experience with them, it was a really solid story. It isn't your normal like Marvel and DC, so if you're looking for the same old thing that you're going to get from Marvel and DC, no superheroes in this and very, very different, but I'm loving it. Next up, we got a DC, Deathstroke the Terminator, issue number 3. This is my first Deathstroke series that I've read, and I am enjoying it so far. I know I've heard a lot of people say that they're not enjoying it, that they've dropped it. But Deathstroke is an older guy that is an assassin, and he's trying to figure out, how to continue being his assassin while his best friend just got offed, and he's trying to establish a relationship with his daughter. So there's a bunch of different stuff going on, but he still has the bills to pay. So his job is an assassin, so he's still going through that stuff. But part of the DC stuff. We got Odin. I read the Ash Can for this, and it seemed like a pretty solid story. But I don't remember. I just remember putting down that I needed to get it. Because the Ash Can made me want it. Flipping through it right now, it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of words. So if you're an art-driven guy, if you're a man, woman, whatever, if you're an art-driven person, maybe give this a shot. Scan through it in the LCS, in the comic book shop, see if it's your cup of tea. If not, leave it there. But I'm going to read this and enjoy it. Next up, we got something I didn't know this was coming out. Heard nothing about it. No clue. It's by Chris Condon, which I got a Chris Condon Wolverine comic, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I'm pretty sure he wrote a one-shot Wolverine comic recently. Pretty sure. But again, no clue what's going on in this. No, nothing. This is, flipping through it again, very art-driven. There's very little words going on in here. So hopefully it gives me enough context to enjoy it. Because sometimes when it's an art-driven thing, I'm like, I need more reason, you know? But if that's your thing, give this a shot. Pick it up, look at it. Next up, we got Seven Wives, who my buddy Russ, we've been having a lot of private conversations. Russ has been in my DMs lately. But he said he was getting this for his wife, that it's like a Mormon sister wife's mystery murder type thing. And I was like, shit, that sounds like something I want. And I was actually talking to my wife on the way home, because my wife goes with me to go pick up my comic books. On the way home from picking up the comic books, I told her about this because Russ told me he was getting it for his wife. I was like, I'm going to get it. And I told her what it was about. And she was like, I want to read that. So my wife doesn't read comics, but this might be how I get her hooked, guys. And then last but not least, I know a lot of people came here to make sure that I got it. I got it, okay? Absolute Green Arrow. I was on Twitter today, scrolling through Twitter. If you didn't know, I'm B Solo Books on Twitter also, or Solo86B, depending on how you look me up. And I heard nothing but good things about this. I haven't heard anything bad. I did see somebody compare it to Green Arrow, to compare it to Green Lantern, and I was like, no. But then I clicked on their profile, and they're huge Green Lantern fans, like absolute Green Lantern. And to them, absolute Green Lantern is the best. So I was like, okay, well, if they're comparing it to what they believe to be their best, then it's still a good comment. But this is going to be my first time reading a Green Arrow comic, so wish me luck. And we'll end the video, because this is at the bottom. Memory Lane Comics, guys. Make sure you stop by there if you're ever in Wilmington, North Carolina. But guys, pick up something, read it today, stimulate that mind, and have a great day.